Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar. My name is Shola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Oladolupo. You know, the one and only. One and only. Get it. You get it. You all got it. And anyway, today is Friday. It is the last episode of Boombar for the week. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah, so of course, on Fridays, we don't talk only politics or the serious stuff. We try to make it a little bit light, but just to stop us from dabbling. But we're going to talk new music, Niger, a few collaborations here and there, and some social media gist and all of that. Our focus is on something that people will be explaining.
And yeah, for me, I think we should start from music. There's a lot of music that actually came out today. A whole lot. First things first, Johnny Drill's album. And honestly, maybe because I'm not very into R&B songs. I was not very, okay, it's John Drill. We'll listen to it, as I'm supposed to. But I didn't think it was going to be wow. But the few songs that I've listened to, I think he did an amazing job. And shout out to him bringing Style Plus together. How they did that, nobody knows. But that was, I think he's done an amazing job. At least the few that I have watched. Oh no, I've listened to actually. The few I've listened to, they're actually really nice. At least I listened to like 4 or 5 songs on the album, and I think they're really good. What do you think?
Yeah, I have only heard about 2 songs or so. Apart from the single that you dropped last week, something about love is harder or something.
Yeah.
I've only heard 2 other songs. There's one with Style Plus. There's another one with Don Jazzy.
Yeah.
And I'd say this morning I was up at 12 when the album dropped. The new music Friday thing. It's a thing.
It's now a thing, yeah. It's really now a thing.
People are really, taking it serious. So
I agree.
I was up when it dropped, and in the morning I saw a post by Don Jazzy with a screen grab of the top. I think there are top 4 songs on Apple Music or something, and of course Whiskey is number 1, and in the top 4, there's Ira Star and Johnny Drill, and they're both mavens, and I'm like, there's something about this Don Jazzy guy, man. Look, love him or hate him,
he knows his job and he does good.
He's the best in the business.
Yeah,
he's the best in the music business in Nigeria. My opinion. Please don't lose your head over it. If you know anybody else that's better or as good, give them your compliments too. But for me, I really want to, say I'm impressed with Don Jazzy's work with the Mavens, and look at what it is now. It's difficult to get someone like Dolupo to say something nice about the kind of songs that Johnny Drill does. We've had several arguments off air and at times on air. So if she's giving kudos
I think it's a beautiful,
Johnny
it's
Drill,
beautiful.
I'm gonna say he's done a great job.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful album actually.
Using her as a
yardstick,
because she's not a very good.
I'm not a very joyous person.
No, at all. No, she's not, and she knows.
I don't care. I like the song. I like the songs that I have listened to. And moving on from songs,
that, there's Reaction, and she's kind of new. We've been playing a few of our singles, but now she's dropped an album, and I have not listened. Strangely, this is the first Friday in months that I've not listened to all the songs before coming to the bar. I tried to listen to a few before we got on. Like, we know that Drake, and what really made it very popular was where we saw how Drake had billboards all over. Let's talk about that.
I think
Let's talk about that marketing.
It's an amazing marketing strategy. Whoever came up with that, Kudos. And I like the fact that, and this is where I think the arts are just amazing. To be honest, I think that I even regard myself more of a science person than an arts person. But this is where you see the arts, like it just keeps evolving, and then something comes up with something, and you're like, why didn't anybody think of that?
Yeah. So this is what Drake did for all the people who were guests on his new album that dropped today. Also, he took out billboards in different parts of those people's hometown. You know, a few of them in America. Then in Nigeria, there are billboards announcing to Nigerians that Thames is on Drake's new album. You know, and a few hours after the album drops, one of the biggest electronic boards in Lagos is on Ikorodu Road. He actually took out spots on that one too. You know, there are some parts of the island, the different billboards along the toll gate. The other part of Ozuba, by the way, in what's the ramp that takes you to Ikoyi. You know, all of those boards had, you know, adverts about Thames.
And you know, the funny thing is that for me,
Drake's album,
it's not even about Thames. I think it's about the fact that he's cashing in on the market of every single of those artists.
Yeah, that's the crossover.
If that's the only reason why you're going to,
that's the crossover appeal.
And so I think what he did is amazing. And talking about doing amazing stuff, Wizkid's O2 concert.
Yeah, O2.
Yeah, looks like it said that in 2 minutes the tickets got sold out.
Yeah, the same thing that happened to the first set of tickets. You know, they have like 3 or 4 categories. And they release them on different days. The same thing that happened to the first date that he announced. This is a different date.
Yeah.
Happened again. The tickets that were released for yesterday, 35 minutes, they were done. You know? So it's amazing how
I think he's doing some amazing work.
He is. Yesterday I saw a tweet from Billboard, and if you don't know Billboard, they're arguably the biggest chart company in the world. And they were tweeting about how high, you know, the song Essence
is going,
featuring Thames has actually gone. Not even the one with Bieber. Now we're talking about the original, which is a big deal. So look, love him or hate him, you got bile.
There's something with Wizkid that you cannot deny. There's something with him that you definitely can't deny. And so talking about music, Davido is out with Adekunle Gold.
Hi. They're both
Hi. And I listened to that song. I actually listened to it twice before I got on the show. I listened to it the first time, I was like, not my thing. But then I listened to it second, I'm like, you know what? And the funny thing was that there was hardly any Davido on that song. It was more of an Adekunle Gold song. There was just bits and pieces of Davido here and there. It wasn't so much of Davido.
Yeah, well.
But it's not a bad song.
Well, the different type of collaborations, and this particular one, of course, Adekunle opened. David Oyeleke came in, then Adekunle closed out again. Of course, it's like the new beat that Nigerians are basically, you know, color beat. We have color beat. This beat, it's Amapiano. It's a South African flavor. It's beautiful music coming out of South Africa. But now I'm sure the South Africans will be confused because they'll be like, "Oh, so
are you sure this is?"
At some point, South Africans will doubt their ownership of Amapiano.
It's the way we do. It's our way. It's our way.
They're going to doubt it.
It's definitely our way. But I think it's done. They actually have done really well for themselves on this one. Also, there's still a lot of music now. Talking about Thames, I'm talking about Drake. I don't know if you listen to that song with Drake and Thames. What do you think about it?
Okay. I've only listened once, and there are some songs that you just listen to the first 15 seconds and you're in. I heard something that's very African. I need to look up who produced the song. Most likely a Nigerian producer. I have a feeling because it's like heavily percussion. There's a lot of percussions and stuff. And that's my issue with the song already. That the beats were drowning out the vocal prowess or quality of Thames and Drake. But maybe I need to listen again. However, as the song played on, I started getting into the groove and everything. I see what Drake is trying to do, and I know it's gonna be a hit. He already has Drake on it, and again, this child of destiny called Thames, she is on this one again, and but again, it didn't really show that our unique voice in this particular song, like it did.
Like you said, when you maybe if you want listens to it, maybe more than once, but I won't say I'm very impressed with the song. I'm honestly not sure I'm there yet. Maybe if one has to listen to it 1-2 times more, maybe it could actually grow on us. So, any other music?
Oh, well, there are a couple of others though, but that is these are the ones that we have
gone through a little bit, yeah. And now, before we go into politics and all, because it's so that always talking about politics, there's this gist that happened yesterday, and it's something that I wanted us to like really dissect. And my issue with it is, okay, what brought about this topic is yesterday, it looks like Annie Dibia, Two-Face's wife or Two Baba's wife, went up on social media and went on an Instagram status, and she was going off on her husband about how he was spending days at Disney with his children and his baby mama, and then also came up where his brother started attacking her. They were attacking themselves back and forth. Then a video surfaced online that is supposed to be her brother that said that he was distancing himself from her and all that. And whatever happens, are we going to lie that stuff does not happen or people don't have issues? It's very hypocritical that everybody does not have issues or whatever it is that they're dealing with. My question is, why is it that we feel a need to always air our dirty linen in public?
Well, there are different ways to look at this matter that we're discussing. Just like you established, she basically went on a rant on her Instagram story, and she called out her husband for spending 3 days in the same room or same apartment with his ex and the 3 children that Two-Face has with Pero. I think that's her name, right? Now, the thing is, not trying to condone it though, but everybody knows that Two-Face they try. Like, my man gets around, met him a couple of times, very nice. In real life, he's actually a chilled, laid back guy, right? And there's no perfect human being. We all have our own shortcomings, depending on who's judging or who's talking about it. However, I still feel that even if you guys have an issue, social media
is the last place to deal with.
Not the first place to take your issues to. Or even if you guys have been back and forth about it, you want to deal with it, it's still not. It's just
the place. It's not the place.
One of the major things is that it gives us work to do. It's work for us. It's content. We will discuss you. We will analyze you. We will criticize you if you want, or praise you, as the case may be. However, I think that she shouldn't have gone that far. But again, looking at things from different angles, you would find that at times people just need someone to talk to.
They need to vent. But are you saying that there's really nobody to vent to? And I think that where it stems from is, for me, why we need to post our wins or our life on social media. So like for example, what people don't know exists will not have it. Let me take Deja for example.
And for those of you who do not know, Dija used to be or might still be an artist with the Mavens, that's Don Jazz's music record label. She's from the northern part of the country, and she seems to have some link to some country outside Nigeria. Because if you check her Twitter, there's a flag of maybe.
I think her mom is not Nigerian.
Mm-hmm. So, but she is another good singer and a good performer. And back to what Dumbo wanted to say about her.
So, like what I was saying, it's somehow everybody just came out that she's married, and I think she has 2 or 3 children. I'm not even sure if anybody sees a picture of her husband, people will know who her husband is or how her children look like.
Nobody does, because
nobody does.
She basically kept them out of.
So even if, which not praying that should happen, if there's a problem with her marriage today,
you won't know.
Nobody will know because she didn't even announce it to you in the first place. So it's almost like we feel a need to inform the world that this thing is happening to me.
In some instance, people see it as part of the celebrity lifestyle that a celebrity should flex, should talk about their life, and show you how beautiful it is.
Yeah, because like we're saying, take for example another example. A few weeks ago, I think about last week or something, that Alex Ekubo's who is an actor.
Alex Ekubo is an actor in Nigeria.
He and his fiance called it quits. Of course, they made the whole engagement a public thing.
Okay.
That the lady had to come out on social media to write about it again. I think it was completely unnecessary.
So the thing is, the funny thing about the Alex Ekubo story is, the lady who he was planning to get married to called it off. We saw the post on social media. She ends it with how she wanted people to allow her walk through this and not get involved in her business and all of that. And I laughed. And laughed. Like, I will never understand this madness that people do. You're the one that brought the matter to social media.
Exactly.
You said that,
and you now say people shouldn't.
That you are not getting married to someone that you told everybody you're getting married to. Then that people should just leave you at a time like this. If you really wanted to leave you,
you shouldn't have said anything.
Zip it. That's the way I think you should have handled it. But we can't force our own standards on people. We can't force people to be. But you know that everything has consequences. Like, I, for one, now, personally, I don't like posting family on social media. I might have done it in the past, like 10 million years ago, But in the last 9-10 years, it's rare. It's really rare for me to do it. I have my reasons. I can explain if I am forced to, but there's no need. But for those who decide to put every aspect of their life out on social media, I don't think it's bad. It's who you are. It's what
I just think that, okay, which makes sense. But husband and wife is having a problem. I get your point. Like, don't come and say, leave me at a point like this.
At a point in time, we want you to.
Uncle, you just sound like you're looking for attention. That's it. That's the way it sounds to me. My own is, can we stop airing our dirty linen? Because I also think that it's very difficult to come back from that.
Yeah, like for instance now, in the Two-Face and Annie Dibia matter, she's the one that has gone public with her issues. People have responded to her directly or indirectly, openly or secretly. We don't know about the secretly. We know about the open responses that she's gotten. Two-Face has not said anything. Yeah, have you heard him join issues with her?
No.
He hasn't. So the thing is, it makes it harder for you, the person who went to rant, to walk your way back. If you decide to. It makes it more difficult. You get. But most times I would urge people, I always say to them, why don't you talk directly with the person involved?
The person you have an issue with.
You guys work it out And if you can't work
If you
it out,
can't, that's it.
there are options. There are several options. One of the P Square brothers is getting a divorce. His wife is leaving, or whatever. You get. There's always an option that does not mean that the world will end. You guys are already bound by the children that you have and the memories that you might have made or created together, you know. But she went all out. And the sad part is that now nobody is even talking about the so-called infidelity that she's referring to. Everybody's talking about the way she's handling her business.
Her business, and that's it.
And hardly would you see 9 out of 10 comments actually are against that. Hardly would you see anybody come and say, oh, it was nice what she did. We support her.
That's the thing, and
think also that the internet never forgets.
Your
children are going to
let's
grow.
be honest with ourselves, and I think it's a conversation that a lot of people don't want to have. You know, I think that it happens more with women. I don't want to generalize, but I think it happens more with women than with men. How a lot of women feel that getting married to someone or making sure a man gets married is going to keep him.
Or change him.
Or change him. Take the Two-Face, for example. The person you're arguing with him, they're fighting with him over that he spent a few days. Look at it logically. If his baby mama and she had one child for him, I think it's still better. He went back, had a second child with her. Went back, had a third child with her.
Well,
there's something.
They married to you.
Yeah, before they got married.
Okay.
There's something that Yorubas say that.
But they were dating all that time.
Oh, they were dating as well.
That's him and Annie were dating.
There's something that Yoruba says that a woman that I think gives birth to a child or more than a child for you is no longer your concubine.
No.
Is a wife.
Yeah.
People that are married, some people that are married don't even have up to 3 children.
Or children at all.
Or children at all. A woman that is so-called baby mama has 3 children for him. And you think that it's just going to... What exactly made him keep going back to that woman? Let's think about it.
There must be something there.
There must be something. She's not the only other one. And you think for some reason he's just going to blank.
At least he has children by the lady.
I think that at times we were very delusional with things that we do.
You know, but she in her rant, she said I tried to be there for him and she's been understanding.
That's the thing.
And everything.
Why are you trying to understand that's who the person is?
She wasn't take it anymore.
And I think that's the thing. We keep hurting ourselves. I honestly didn't get to this realization until a few months ago. That we need to realize that people are who they are. Whether it's good or bad, you need to come to the realization that people are who they are.
Standard. There are always patterns. There's always a pattern. There's always a system. All you need to do is study it and see it.
So it's either can I deal with it?
Can I live with it or not?
Or not. If the person has to change, the change comes from them and nothing else. But even that change takes a long time. But the one what you see right now, can you either deal with it or you can't? Yeah. And that's it.
So, and again, you know, your partner is not perfect because you're not perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect, you know, and it's still always better to make sure that there's no third party in your business. But if there is, there has to be something that you know you can live with. Like, you're the one that's taking your business to the third party.
Exactly.
In this case, she took her business to a larger third party, which is the social media.
The social media, yeah.
And, you know, there's no joy on social media.
There's none. You know, and a lot of people are just looking for you to. They are waiting, and there's this slang that they say now. Everybody will eat breakfast.
Yes, now.
They are just waiting to laugh at you.
Yeah.
Because I still can't wrap my head around the reason why we think that it's nice to put your dirty linen in public.
You know, you said that she has even changed Instagram name.
Yeah, that she's removed the Idibia
name. But could it be that she's just had enough and this is a way of working out?
Oh, could she have had enough?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. It's very possible. Where I would fault her is that you could have avoided having enough, not having it at all.
Okay. We have a comment from Nigel
Really,
Cloud. Good to have you on the show, Nigel. And he says, Two-Face and Pero had 2 children while Annie was there, and had the third while married or engaged to Annie. Just like you
I
were
told
saying.
you now that I
So-
think she actually gave birth the day Two-Face and Annie were getting married. So at least
that was to the third child.
Yeah, to the third child. So at least 9 months before you people were getting married, there was still something there. So what did you think you were going to do that was going to be different?
This one a serious matter.
Now you get my point where I'm like that. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's a hurt that at times, and it happens to a lot of women, but it's a hurt that is completely and totally unavoidable. It's totally avoidable.
Actually, yeah.
It's very, 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 very avoidable.
I don't know. But I still advise that you talk to your partner. It's always better that, look, it's always better.
And the truth is that even some people have had more baby mamas, and there's a woman that probably can deal with it. We all have our threshold. We all have things we can deal with. Because something is bad, it does not mean someone cannot deal with it.
Yeah, everybody has a deal breaker.
It could be as little. Some people could just be as little as talking too much. Some people just can't deal with it. Mm-hmm. We all have things we can deal with and what we can't deal with. That's what I would I say fault her. Like, there was honestly no need.
Extremely unnecessary.
No need to put yourself through so much hurt.
But at times, I think from different angles, she must have had enough, Dolo. Like, she probably just needed to get something off her chest. With the benefit of hindsight, I'm hoping that
enough that she had was completely
to,
unnecessary.
She has spoken to maybe a close friend or even Two-Face himself. You know, then again, people are now coming for her. A lot of people, to the point where our own blood brother too does not even support her. That's the one I don't get.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's something very fishy in all that matter. Mm-hmm. And that's where I still go back to. Even if she's had enough, she's dealt with too much trouble with him, he's this, is that, I still feel there is a lot of hurt that we inflict on ourselves. Mm-hmm. We can avoid completely. That's where I'm coming from. So a lot of times we're living in Wonderland. To protect your sanity, your mental health, your life. Because you actually matter. Like, you matter more than anything else in the world. And that's the thing. So, but she decided to do what she decided to do. So, can't help it.
She has to live with it.
She has to live with it. We'll see how all this drama
unfolds. Do you see them coming back from this one? They've been through a lot together. Do you see Two-Face and he's saying, okay, Olofofo, mind your business. I love my wife.
To be honest with you, when it comes to matter of husband and wife,
you never can tell, right?
You really never can tell. You never can tell. When you look at it from the surface, does it look like something they can come back from? Maybe not. But when it comes to husband and wife matter, don't put your mouth to. You never know.
Reminds me of a Ebenezer Obey song. Evangelist Ebenezer Obey has a song. He says, Ija oko pelaya, aye mama dasi, kototo shumefa, akbari.
Common boyfriend and girlfriend.
There's a way you go and put mouth in
advice
in people's relationships.
Advice from somebody that almost got beaten.
You got burnt.
I learned the hard way. Please, when you simple, in fact, when you hear that maybe somebody said something, no. Let the matter unfold by themselves. I did not hear. I will not hear.
You're not going to be a party.
I would not. No. No. I shall not.
You know, and it's important that you observe these things. You respect people's relationships.
Hey.
At times, you see someone in a bad situation, in a bad relationship, and you're like, oh, this shouldn't be happening. Blah 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 blah.
Uncle, auntie is not your business. It's not your business.
And there's something I want to just mention, we we talked about protecting our mental space and everything. And please, guys, please take a listen to this. Our partners are working on something that I think will be beneficial to everybody, especially Nigerian youth.
Yeah.
You get it's the national conference by the suicide prevention group in Nigeria. They're called Supine. They're one of Nigeria's foremost suicide prevention groups out there, and they're actually organizing a national e-conference. They've been doing a lot of things. There's been a drama competition between students, and people are winning prizes and all of that. But this one is targeting the youth, and it's saying connecting and strengthening future mental well-being, because that's one of the things that Dolupo had actually harped on, and I know that I also like to talk about from time to time. So on the 11th of September, which is about 7 days from now, if I'm not mistaken, there's going to be an event at the Old Great Hall at the College of Medicine, University of Lagos, Idiaraba, and Surulere. There's going to be a Zoom link that we will also share for people who can't make it there. But if you know any young person, especially with the effects of COVID-19, all the NSAS issues, school issues, relationship things and all, that you feel you want to help take care of their mental well-being, you might want to ask them to search for Supine. That's SURPIN. Yeah, on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and you'll find them there. Your Boom Radio NG is a media partner, and we're definitely hoping that people would send their young ones, to go check it out on Zoom, or come to the Old Great Hall. But preferably you can listen online, because it's majorly it's more of an e-conference. So we're going to be sharing the Zoom link later. The chairperson for this event is the Commissioner of Education in Lagos, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo, but the keynote speaker is someone that you might want to listen to. That's Professor Taiwo James Obindo. He is a professor of psychiatry, Jos University Teaching Hospital, JUICE, and he's the chapter chairman and of the Faculty of Psychiatry. He's someone that is actually very vast in psychiatric issues and matters, and he's going to be the keynote speaker. There are going to be other people, Dr. Meka Ogbolu, Dr. Titi Tade, and a couple of other people who will be talking about mental health issues. But basically, this is targeted at the young people out there, and those of us who believe we're still young who want to be a part of it, because mental health issues have been handled wrongly and badly for so long that we need to bring it to the front burner. Yeah. You can't talk about mental health without people saying you're crazy. And nobody wants to be called crazy. But there's nothing wrong with having mental health issues and seeking help, because the life you save might just be your own. Exactly. So we'll be talking about this more often. And hopefully sometime next week we'll be bringing in the guys from Supine to be a part of the bar.
So let's move on quickly before we actually leave music and all that. I don't know if there was something that we saw yesterday, and it's something worth anticipating. Wande Cole and T-Pain.
I just can't get my head. Look, I like T-Pain.
I love me some T-Pain.
And I love Wande Cole.
Yep. And you can imagine both of them on a song.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I already have goosebumps.
It's going to be nice. T-Pain actually tweeted at Wande Cole last night.
Yeah.
And Wande responded with, we're ready, let's do it, let's get it. That's our own interpretation.
Yeah, we're waiting for that. We're here.
That's the beauty of music. It's just getting better.
We're here. We're
the
all
collaborations are becoming.
Bring it on.
Crazy. A few years ago, you wouldn't have seen this happen.
But
now it's just becoming normal.
It's normal that you see.
Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kanye.
It's amazing. It's definitely amazing. And let's move on quickly from that. And before we even dive into politics, there's something that came up today. Sorry, trying to read a little bit.
Okay.
And according to NigerianNews.com, a popular Instagram celebrity, please, why in the world you know that your ways are not pure.
Mm-hmm.
But you still feel the need to show off on social media. Is it that they are really following you from your village or... But let me just finish because I'm getting angry right now and I'm not sure I want to be angry. Bamidele Morino, better known as Dele Ewe or Dele Iu, I'm not sure. A 35-year-old from Oshogbo, Nigeria, has just been sentenced to 17 months in prison.
Okay.
While his conspirator, Gabriel Kalembo, 33-year-old of Zambia, has also been sentenced to 50 months in prison. Mr. Bamilele Morino has also been ordered to pay back $561,125.2, while his co-conspirator has been asked to pay $298,008 in restitution. They've been jailed in the US. They said that the defendants stole funds from programs meant to assist American workers and families seeking to make ends meet during the COVID-19 pandemic. Are we not wicked?
Is this guy related
Why
to Oshbo?
would you didn't see any other money to steal? It had to be during the pandemic. Why? And so now what's in it? You see them, the pictures that this particular person had earlier posted of him owning like a Maybach or also all sorts of things.
Wow.
And you know they'll say this thing, they'll say Grace, or they'll say
Just think about
they have all sorts of names. And you're like,
you shared a video with me a couple of
those ago. Ones that came up and said it's not
Yahoo
Grace.
boys in a room. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the video. There's some
took
boys
a video
at the workstation. They all have computers and they had some form of jazz with them. And they're like, this is not Grace at all. This is what's working for them and all of that. I'm like,
and you decided
it's God's work that is making them expose themselves. Because with that video, the police should be able to bring them down, and stop them from tarnishing the image of those of us who want to really work hard to make it and work smart still.
Exactly. Like it's a very sad situation. But let's move on to something that I think that I'm liking the synergy between the southern governors and the northern governors. As yesterday we had announced, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, that after Ondo State and Enugu State had passed the bill on the anti-open grazing bill. Mm-hmm. I think it was Katsina that had come up and said that they had prohibited people from moving cattle from. Now, Kaduna State has also banned the transportation of livestock from Kaduna.
But I am afraid about all of this. Especially the banning of cattle movement. It's like if you're saying they can take cattle out of your state, the business people who want to sell them and the people who want to buy them down south, how are they going to get it?
I think that I'm not sure about. I've not read it properly, but maybe they're talking about moving cattle as for open grazing and all that. When is business? I don't think that it should hinder business that is properly done. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm not sure of it, but I don't think this should affect business.
Okay, because if it's a blanket ban, maybe I don't understand what the two governors have done. But if it's a blanket ban, won't that restrict the movement of cattle from north to south? Because you can still move cattle via trucks and trailers.
That's what I'm saying. That maybe you have to do it. For you to do it legally, maybe you have to go through so the state knows what you're moving, who you're moving, where you're moving it, which is business. So let's think about it. It's not a bad idea if it's properly regulated.
Yeah, regulation has not always been bad, except for at times when government workers tend to overdo their mandate or overdo their so-called oversight functions, and they end up messing the
whole
up.
thing up. And now let's move on a little bit to health. As the NCDC, that's the National Center for Disease Control in Nigeria, has recorded 8 more COVID-19 deaths, 631 new cases in the last 24 hours.
You know, the numbers are increasing. The death toll is looking scarier than the first and second wave now. At the pace that it's going, you know, in a few weeks' time, we would have more statistics and more data and everything. But having said all of this, we make a strong appeal to people who will get to watch this later, or who are watching it now live, or are listening to us, you know, on boomradio.com or via the app or any of the other streaming platforms that we are on. Please take a moment to educate the people around you about how serious COVID-19 really is. I find it strange that almost 2 years of COVID-19 and we're still doubting
Begging people to.
if it exists. We're still begging people to observe the safety protocols. You know, wash your hands frequently. Sanitize open surfaces like this. You know, use your hand sanitizer. Wear your face mask in public. You know, keep your distance from people. You know, limit the way you mingle. You know, party, club, or church, or mosque, and all of that, and we'll be able to kick this thing out. But it's shocking how the numbers keep increasing. People are dying, and a lot of people are still carrying on.
We
Like,
don't care.
like it's nothing. Like, well, yeah. What's their business? They really don't care.
So, still talking about COVID, yeah, there's now news that the federal government is considering that the vaccine, they make it compulsory for all civil servants.
I think it's a good move. The reason why I think it's a good move is that they have a large workforce.
So that's a large chunk of people that.
And if you allow,
But should it make it compulsory?
Okay, guess what? If you don't make it compulsory and they all resume fully, you know, a lot of them have been working from home and everything, and government is still going to be paying their salaries, and they're not functioning optimally. The best thing is for a lot of people to get back to work, and people start to work the regular 9 to 5 again. What happens is that if you do not have that herd immunity, 1 or 2 people who are infected
are going to affect the whole.
And to be a massive spread, you get. But if you make it compulsory for all the workers of the federal workforce, and the state government does the same in the states, a large chunk of Nigerians would have been, you know, protected from the deadly
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Now, I have news coming from Anambra. Please, when is Anambra election set?
November. I think it's the first week in November.
Because at this point, you don't even know
I
if
think
these
November-
elections are
November-
finally going to
November
hold
8th
or not.
something.
Because as of today now, an appeal court has declared Valentine Ozigbo the valid PDP candidate for Anambra elections.
Yes, it's been some sort of musical chairs in Anambra when it comes to the candidates of the PDP and APGA. The APGA is arguably one of the strongest parties in Anambra State.
Yeah, is where the governor is from.
Yeah, you know, they've always produced the governor of Anambra. You know, maybe once that PDP might have produced a governor, but it's always been an
For a
APGA.
while, yeah.
Yeah, at least for the past 12 years or more, it's been an APGA state. So the thing about it is that they seem to have 2 factions of APGA in that state. Same way they have 2 factions of the PDP. And I would, for the life of me, I don't know how this is
Why
possible.
everybody does that.
And
And it's a common thing.
it's almost like there is a football club that you like. There's Enugu Rangers, and there are 2 factions. It's not possible because they have to take their authority from one place. The state FA takes authority from the NFF, and NFF form CAF, CAF form FIFA. So INEC should be in a better position to nip all of this madness in the board. Like, how are there two gubernatorial candidates? Meaning that there were two.
So it shouldn't even get
primaries.
to the courts at all.
That's what I'm saying. Some of these cases are too frivolous to take to court. But people want to work the system. They want to circumvent the system. So what is happening now is that one goes to a magistrate court, the other one goes to a high court. The one gets judgment high court, another one goes to appeal. Now the guy who was lost now might just look for a way to expedite.
I'm going to the Supreme Court.
Go to Supreme. You get. In a way, it's good for the democracy in the sense that they've used the judiciary to determine, and again, it will be a precedent. Like you've already said the precedent, oh, this case versus this person, blah, blah, blah. But all of this is avoidable if they follow the INEC, rules. INEC is supposed to be supervising the process. They're not just going to conduct an election. They're supposed to supervise the process of the primaries and all of that. So how come these two top parties in Anambra have such confusion in them? In the same vein that Valentine Ozigbo of the PDP has now been mentioned as the authentic candidate for the PDP in Anambra. A few hours ago, it was Chukwuma Charles Soludo, former
from the PDP of the APGA,
former CBN governor, who is now the flag bearer of APGA.
But we've seen how these things happen, where at the end of the day, somebody wins an election, and then there's a court case back and forth, and then an obscure person.
You know what's even happening now is that there's a press release today that came out from Soludo's rival, saying that it's obvious that the people don't want Soludo. That's why. Yesterday we talked about it. 6 members of APGA,
to the APC, lawmakers
in the State House of Assembly, crossed to the APC. What that tells you, in essence,
is that there's a problem somewhere.
There's a big problem within APGA, and the party doesn't seem to have a way to resolve it, and this might affect them at the polls. Maybe a ranked outsider might now be the one to be the next governor. The APC guy is looking okay, because they don't have controversies. They already have their candidate. Now they have gained 6 House of Assembly members.
It's not looking good for APGA or PDP at the moment. But I hope that everybody gets to sort out their issues before the elections, so that everybody can have a clear cut thing, and that whoever won fair and square, and we move on from it. And moving on from that, there is a little bit of talk, as much as we had talked about it earlier, that this was happening in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. It's not surprising that cholera also is ravaging Niger Republic.
Well, yeah, we're neighbors.
Yeah, and now it has been reported that a total of about 104 people have died from cholera in Niger. So it looks like
it's scary. I don't know, that there's a saying that if your neighbor's house is on fire and you don't help.
So it probably even came all the way from Niger.
Yes, but I think regardless of our own issues, it's time we really dabbled into their own matter and quickly found a way to help them, because the lines are blurred. I saw a video the other day. Someone stood at the border of Nigeria and Niger. There's nothing, no structures in that particular place where the person was. There was no baggage, there was nothing. It's just you walking across.
Just walking across the road.
Plain.
Adam, finally,
we might have to intervene.
Yeah.
That way, it doesn't get to spread too much into Nigeria.
Okay, so a little bit of foreign news, and this is coming from China. China is very good at banning things.
Oh yeah,
Last week we heard that they had banned children from watching from playing video games on weekdays, and they're only supposed to play these games at the weekends, 3 hours at the weekend.
Interesting.
I don't know how they're
They must have done some research.
They plan to
regulate
and enforce that, though. But now the Chinese government have also now announced that they are banning effeminate men from being on television.
All right. So for those of us that don't understand grammar, what is effeminate? Can you describe it? Don't define it or describe.
People that try to behave like men, that try to behave like women. They have like a bit of female. At times they don't even have like female structures. They're just more feminine in their demeanor and their actions and all. Now they have said that they don't want them on TV.
It's China, people, and on that note,
according to them, they say broadcasters must resolutely put an end to CC men and other abnormal aesthetics. The TV regulator said.
China is a strong country. That's I can say that much. And I
think it's a lot though. Like, it's actually a lot. Seriously, how do you determine who's effeminate and who's not?
Oh, isn't it glaring?
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not as clear cut.
Most times it's glaring. You can see it. You can see the way the person walks or the way the person talks and the mannerisms and all of that.
This one that's being
look out for.
Effeminate is now like a serious selling point in Nigeria.
It's a crime in China. So all the effeminate guys who have made it, they're stuck in trade.
Don't try it
on social media.
Don't try it. Don't try to go to China.
Thou shalt not go to China.
Thou shalt not go to China. And also there's talks about, I don't know if you had come across the floods that is happening in the US.
Oh yeah.
It's really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And they had said to a level now, as of today, about 58 people have died.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people who have died. One of the things that I've always observed about America is how they build their houses in some parts of America without concrete. It's wood.
And then at times you're wondering, should you be the ones to be building houses with?
Then in some places it's a mixture of concrete and wood, and all of that. And for me, it's a red flag. I'm like, okay, why are you building?
People are prone to these things. You shouldn't be the ones building this kind of houses.
Then again, a lot of houses have basements, and the basement is also the safest part, especially when it comes to war. And bombs are dropping and everything. But when it comes to flooding, it's a different ball game entirely. It's a sad situation. It's sad that 58 people who probably should still be alive if it wasn't for the flood are gone, and there's just down to statistics now. But governments around the world need to realize and recognize the effects of global warming. Is climate change. It's important. It's happening. And how does the flood in New York concern you in Ibadan? How does it concern you in Lagos? It concerns you because whatever happens there can happen here. It concerns you because if you also protect the environment, you protect Mother Earth, and everybody does their bit,
we're helping ourselves at the end of the day.
Things won't be this bad. So, my heartfelt condolences to all the people who have lost their loved ones.
Yeah. So, finally, before we go, there's a little bit of sports stories. And the first thing I was going to talk about, for people that do not know, please, what time is Nigeria playing today?
It's usually 4 o'clock. Usually 4
o'clock.
Worst case 5, but usually 4
so,
o'clock.
Nigeria is playing with Liberia. What do you think is going to win?
I think Nigeria is going to win this one. I know that there are no small teams anymore in Africa.
Yeah.
You don't take anything for
For granted.
But come on, it's the Super Eagles, baby. What you talking about? What you talking about?
Okay.
What you talking about? So my money is on the Super Eagles, so When I know for my hand.
No, seriously.
Please don't
The
disgrace
fact
me.
that you're even playing a home game, I think it's going to be very, very annoying if you don't win this game. But
Home games. The other one in Benin. Didn't you see what happened when we were struggling and everything? Benin in Nigeria here. Look, guys, I make you
let's just have sense. At the end of the day. And finally, before we go, still on sports, yeah. Former Arsenal coach Arsene Wenger, that we know works with FIFA now, has now been hinting that he would like that FIFA World Cup happens every 2 years instead of every 4 years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, the FIFA president that mentioned this earlier before Wenger did, before it became news today. A lot of people have been mooting the idea that but I think they should consider it. It's like the African Nations Cup. It's every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
And European countries don't like the idea. They have theirs every 4 years. And the reason why they don't like it is that every 2 years, that means they have to miss players when the Nations Cup starts. Which also means that during the qualifiers, they miss their players. But what CAF has done is that during the FIFA open windows, you play the qualifiers. So you can play your regional qualifiers without affecting. But I don't like the idea. This is why I don't like it. Every football window is a 9-month window.
Yeah.
Starts in August, ends in May. Calculate, that's 9 months. And you say, no, it's not a mistake because it also takes 9 months to birth new life. You get. I always feel it's symbolic every time I see the start of a season. Excuse me. But after the first 2 games, there's international break. It's the same footballers that are playing for their clubs. Not all of them, but at least the lucky ones that are going to play for their countries.
Yeah.
It's usually the top players. Then they come back at the following week, and by the weekend they're playing for their clubs again. Then a few weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks after, then there's the international break again. Then after that, Champions League. Then after that, Europa for the people playing Europa. But before you know it, 9 months, they're playing 4 or 5 competitions. As soon as the league ends, every year it's either they're preparing for Nations Cup qualifiers for the African players, or the Euros, or Copa America. So at the end of the day, you start to wonder, when will the players rest? And why do you truncate our season? I want to see football every weekend for the 9 months, not all these international.
So what do you think?
So I don't like the idea. Case in point, there's a Barcelona player, young guy, Pedri, played almost every Barcelona game last season. When it was done, he went to the Euros. When it was done with Euros, he went to the Olympics. He's only human. And now he's on break. The season has started. His own holiday starts when the season started. That's when his holiday started. And I don't think it's right. These players also need to rest.
Okay, so what's the solution?
The solution is to leave it the way it is. Let it be 4 years. Because players also
makes it now. There is now more pressure.
Yeah, and remember that the reason why you should leave it at 4 years is that the Olympics is also a competition that has a top football tournament.
Yeah,
that happens 2 years after
the World Cup.
So if you move it to 2 years, it's definitely going to
clash with the Olympics,
and it's still going to clash with the CAF Cup.
Yeah, the Nations Cup.
It's going to clash with Copa America. It's going to clash with Copa America. The Asian Cup is there, and all of that.
I even think that things like Europa, Copa America, CAF Nations Cup, I think that FIFA should find a way that they are all played at the same time.
Fantastic idea. I've discussed it with people
before
that they should synchronize their calendars.
Yeah.
So that while Europe is playing their Euros,